All right, anybody here agree with Patrick Mahomes that he's better this year than last year?
I agree. And it doesn't always come out in the measurables, but one of the things we need to add to that equation is how you feel, your level of command. How bright is that green light to you now, and how slow the game is to you in these moments? It leads itself to him cutting down on his mistakes. We talked about less turnovers. And sometimes when you have success in big numbers, a lot of that is just positive, unintended consequences. Like, ooh, I shouldn't have threw that ball. Ooh, I shouldn't have threw the ball. Oh, I got bailed out. Thank you for that. And you go back to the lab and start to self-correct. And part of that self-correction, I think, right now is not taking the same amount of risks, not always swinging for the fences, realizing that he can control the tempo in the game and be more efficient, even if he doesn't have the greater absolute number. So, yeah, I totally agree with him.
I agree, and I agree just based upon, again, just to add on, the familiarity of what is being asked of you, the amount of games, the type of preparation coming into the season. How does it feel getting into the playoffs? He's now understanding in real time what he has to base his expectations and his preparation off of. And he made it very clear, I have a better team. I have better weapons, he feels. He has a better defense. The defense is giving up less points. He doesn't feel as though he has to take as many risks as he did last season. And maybe some of those yards came from those risks that he was taking because he felt he needed to take them.
Mm-hmm. I agree with both of y'all, but I agree for different reasons. I think that him getting hurt, it hurt him, but not just him getting hurt, Tariq Hill getting hurt, losing Kareem Hunt, not having those guys, and still playing at a very high level. So to me, that shows that he's better right there, because you don't have all your weapons, but you're still playing good, and he got hurt. That shows that, to me, without all the touchdowns and like down on the interceptions, most definitely, I agree.
Yeah, I'm going to agree with you all, but I'm going to do it in a different way, because I translate what he's saying is, yeah, my stats aren't as good regular season as they were last year. He's not better than he was last year during the 16-game regular season. But what he does believe, and what I do believe, and I think it's what you guys are saying, is he's more prepared for this postseason than he was last year. He's more prepared for greatness in this postseason. He feels supremely confident going into this postseason, where last year, coming into the postseason, it was all unknown territory. It was all unfamiliar. Now, this is like, it's like riding a bike, from last year. I've already mastered this. I know exactly what I'm going to do in the postseason, how I'm going to handle certain situations, and the confidence he feels from this defense over the last 5 or 6 weeks is just really emboldening him and making him feel like, oh, I got this. He feels supremely confident.
Yeah, and you get that clarity. I mean, that's when we say the game slows down and everyone stops going around you and at the speed limit, and you start to see things in slow motion, and you start to realize that your output, you can start to have a direct relationship with the outcome. And look, we never have that full relationship where no matter what I do, we're going to win. But you start to close that gap and realize where to take your shots, when not to take your shots, when to stay in the flow. I remember my second year, I had a spin move that I thought was going to work on any and everybody. But in my second year, I realized, don't show them your spin move. Like, setup was a part of my game. So the numbers don't always suggest that you got better, but mentally, you start to calculate and start to put it out there in a better formula. And that's where I think he's talking about. The numbers may not suggest that, but my feelings do.
It's so true what you're saying, because here's a guy, when you think about it, he's probably watching film 100 times differently with so much more clarity this season than what he did last year.
Yeah.
And you're talking about setups, right? His no-look passes, the things when you roll out, when you let the ball go quick, when you let it go later, those priorities, we'll say, right? When you're able to prioritize, this is when I'm going to let the ball go. This is when I'm going to run. This is when I'm going to slide. This is when I'm going to try to buy a little bit of time. This is going to create space for my running backs. This is going to create space for our screenplays. This is going to create space for our deep balls. When you have all of that and you can actually prioritize it and categorize it and keep it organized, you are going to be a better player. Even if it doesn't show in the statistical categories, he's going to be a better player.
You get to build off of your own reps, like stand on your own shoulders, because you get to do it.
Absolutely.
I remember when the option first hit, people would do the option like this, set hut, and then ride it, and then if they get it, that was it. If you notice now in the option, you go set hut, you ride, and you still fake it. That's just the little things, man, and I think that's what Patrick Mahomes talking about. These little things, they don't show up on the stat sheet, but trust me, I'm doing them.
Well, as a second-year starter, you know, I think about, you said your second year. I think about my first year. I had 1,800 yards rushing, and I mean, that was a great year. But
why are you staring at me telling me you had 1,800 yards?
you was a linebacker, so I got to look at you.
1,900 if he was playing, but go ahead.
So at my first year, that was a great year. But my second year, I even saw things better, and that's for him too. I had 2,100 yards the next year. I had 2,100 yards the next year.
21.
But when I go back to Kareem Hunt, him not having a real running game, because the quarterback's his best friend is the running game. Him not having a running game and playing the way he played this year shows that I feel more comfortable.
You know, he sounds like an old head, and I'm about to make one of these stupid analogies that I make that probably crosses the line. But he sounds like an old head. We used to have in Kansas City the dude owned a barbershop named Ted. He was in his 50s, and this is when I was in Kansas City.
Old head Ted?
Yeah. And he would be sitting around listening to everybody, you know, dudes in the barbershop. Man, I tore it up. I went 45 minutes. I went an hour. Blah, blah, blah. Oh, I just tore it. And Ted would literally say, he goes, man, y'all don't know what the hell y'all doing, man. You don't know what you doing until you're 50. He used to swear up and he goes, you don't know what you doing until you're 50. I'm 52 now. I understand exactly what he's talking about. And it's like, you out, and so.
I don't want that, man.
So Patrick Mahomes is out here just going crazy. Young guy last year, putting up blah, 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 blah. And he's like, you know what? I ain't got to do all that. I'm Patrick Mahomes. I ain't got to put in an hour. I can get this done in 30 minutes, 15 minutes.
Same thing.
You're so wrong for that analogy. You are so wrong on so many levels on your analogy that you just gave.
That one right
and I
there.
just want to make sure that I let you know I do not condone that message.
Can I get some
15 minutes? You're the 15 minutes.
I take pride.
Hey, you were speaking for yourself right there. You weren't speaking for me.
I'm with you, Jason. What? I'm with you. Let's get it done. Let's get it over with. It's the same thing.
I need overtime.
Thanks for watching. Subscribe here to get the latest from the show. And be sure to check out more of the best clips from Speak For Yourself, or go watch a few segments from our other shows on FS1.